Well, last week we spoke about when is someone considered mitzurif to a minyan, part of the minyan. He said if someone is not seen and he's in a side room, he's not considered part of the minyan. For example, someone who's in the kitchen here, we're having a minyan here, we can't see him, and he doesn't see us, but he hears he can answer Amen and everything, but he's not part of the minyan. So if we have 9 and he's the 10th, he has to come out of the kitchen to come here to join us.
No, we say if some people from here could see him.
If we could see him, if some people here could see him, then he could be part. Because if you could see someone, even if he's outside the building, he's part.
Yeah.
Re'iyah is mitzdaref.
Exactly. Here,
Brachis, when it comes to brachis, the same halacha is that if you could see something, it's considered all one makim.
But that's, I see Lemaisa. There's a shul down on Coney Island Avenue, so they have a Bukharian minyan, and then the Ashkenaz minyan is very, very simple. They don't have enough people, so they open the door, and they're holding by the night. So they say if the door is open, so you can start the Bukharian together with the Ashkenazim. That's less than they had 8, but they're holding different. They're davening in a different. They're not synchronized. So how's that work? Yeah, why would that work?
Achdut.
And they daven the whole minyan like that, and
the whole minyan.
8 minyan in the room. They have shots and everything.
Everything. What do you think? Schwache Meisters.
Same, could be.
I told him, why you open the window? Might as well open the window and start for the Yidden we're walking down the streets. Then it's not totally unsynchronized. They don't even answer a main to the Ashkenazim.
Chazaras Hashatz, you definitely need to have 9 people to answering. And if they're B'chlal and not answering, then another room. Not answering, it's a problem. I have a suffix legabi other parts, because other in Yanim, Davish Kedusha, Kaddish, Kedusha, Baruch Hu, you don't need to have 9 people answering. You need to have roiv of the minyan, 6 people answering. You have to have 10 people in the room. So in such a case, we have to think if you could see each other through the door, right? So at least if the minyan could see each other, so then you could tie in that maybe there is a minyan, just then maybe not answering. Maybe then it would help for Baruch Hu and Kiddush, for Baruch Hu and Kaddish. But for Chazaras Hashatz, we need to have Tisha Oinim. Even without Chazaras Hashatz, it's something I have to think about. I'm just saying that's something where someone asked me recently about this regarding having 2 minyani kriya in the same room. For yard site, one on one side, one on the other side. And they didn't have
20 people.
They had, let's say, 19 people.
Missing one.
Or 18 people. And
one is listening to both.
So they have 10 in one, and they have 9 in the other. So
could you miss out
the other? He was telling me after Shabbos what happened. That people was machlokes. Could you do it? Not do it?
You need a Tisha, not only Tisha Shiny.
You can read if you don't have 10 people.
Yes, 10 people, but that's right now.
I think there is such a shita, but I'm not. Lagabe Kriya might be a little bit more of an issue with Tad. We should have Tisha Shaimin, but Lagabe other Nyanim, maybe Lagabe Baruch Hu in Kaddish, Tzatziru Faminyan, maybe you could use that, and I don't know. Something to think about, something to ask her of, ask her Merazav, another of, if such a thing works.
They don't even answer.
But in this case, where they're having this daily, and they're doing this every day, like Tweed and consider, and this is terrible. This is not appropriate. They have to hire someone to have them to join them.
You gotta pay them.
Pay someone $10 and let them join.
No, it's ridiculous. I'm not competent, but it looks like a
it doesn't have to do anything.
I mean, it's nice.
$15.
Why don't you open the window?
They give tzedakah every day. They give $15 at supper.
They have a shul on Avenue Peace, a public shul. They used to advertise, you come for Mincha, you get $10. People wonder, I went to that in the one time. I see people coming and to give $10.
They have big
They advertise.
So they had a big minyan. They had a big minyan.
They have nice amount. That's average people do. So, I think $500. That's big people.
Right.
I think it's
Yeah. Okay. We're going to talk about that right now soon. Siv b'chapes. All of this calls on the all of the above is talking about if you need a mitzvah people to mingle, or you need to moitzi him his chayv, then he needs to be in the room. You had 10 people in one room. V'oimim kaddish or kedusha. Yachol lanis imam kol hashemea kolam. Anyone who hears their voice can answer, can respond. Afilum abayis acher legambi. Even if you're in another house. Filum kama batim afsikim. Many houses are separating between them. Between the shul, the area where the minyan is, and your house. Shafilum mechitza shabalzel einem afsekes ben yisal avim shuvashamayim. Even the iron gate does not separate between the Yidden and Avin Shebashamayim. Meaning, if I hear Baruch Hu, am I walking down the street, I hear Baruch Hu, Kedusha, Amen, you can answer, I don't see the minyan. I'm not part of them. If they would need me for a minyan, I can't be considered Metzurif because I'm at another house B'chalal, they don't see me. That's, once there's a minyan, anyone who hears can answer. But to be part of the minyan, or for them to moitzi you a certain chayv, you have to be there with it. V'yeshemim, some say, shemikol makim sarach shelo yeh mafsek tinuf or avodah zara. Tinuf, tzoya, or avodah zara, she chashuva ketzoya. L'inyan zeh shouldn't be in between your house or the place where you're standing and the minyan. Then it's mafsek. One should be concerned for their words and not answer Baruch Hu Kedusha Amen in such a case when there's tinuf or an avodah zara, place of avodah zara in between. What constitutes tinuf is not discussed here. It's discussed in Hilchos Minyan. What is considered the tinuf exactly?
Old tinif is like offer. If it's been
Things that are gross.
no, this is fresh. Something a fresh dropping
Oh,
has a
right.
bad odor. But they say sometimes some tinif that's been there like 15, 20 days and it's totally dehydrated, they consider it as like offer. That's what I heard a long time ago.
And they had the same Ashas at the MetLife, so the Barclays had a hookup. So they said that the Shayach, that there's tinif between the Barclays and the MetLife, not to say Amen.
They said that?
Yeah. I don't know if it's
Between the what?
The
between the
tinif.
Barclays and the MetLife, there's definitely tinif. And Rayla don't say Amen on the hookup.
All for monthly.
Yeah.
They couldn't do that. Somebody in the place government had
No, they
said
did.
that.
They made their own
Oh, they
minyan,
did
but
their own
don't-
minyan.
but don't answer Amen because
But
it's
the other-
You have a
The other
screen
minyan.
TV, you see that the other side.
Doesn't matter.
Don't answer Amen for them.
Interesting that they brought up the halacha then.
Probably avoid Zara for sure.
Yeah, it's tinif in the Shayach.
Right, so this is based on this the
Oh,
halacha.
yeah.
Even though it's a wire, I don't know if it's.
The Maisa, Tzoyas Kelef is not a problem if there's no Reyach. If there's no Reyach, there's no problem.
In the winter time,
However, Tzoyas Chatul, a cat, is a problem.
Why?
Staman Reyach Ra.
So they go according to the smell, not to the pieces or the.
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know if in this case. I'm just wondering if it's a chur. I would imagine it's the same din. If it's a reyach, if it's something that's possible to have a reyach on the way, like the amid is traveling kilo over the tzoya, so kilo then it's nifsak if the tzoya is a certain type of tinuf that is a tinuf that would be halachically a problem if you're standing near it by davening. Because how do we No one could smell the tinuf, the tinuf that's in, you're in the house. The chod of the varta tinuf here is that if in that spot, if you're next to it, it would give off a reach ra, it would be a problem.
Yeah, but in wintertime, I've seen many dog droppings, or could be any droppings. You won't smell anything in the winter.
Because they're closer, maybe if you're closer.
Or maybe the wind blowing in the opposite direction. So it's based on smelling.
The
or,
smell freeze in the winter.
I don't smell anything in the winter for sure now. But definitely the wind blows in the opposite direction. I'm not going to smell it.
Take that one on a smartphone.
Maybe I see fresh
That's
droppings.
that's still for sure.
My neighborhood, they don't pick up the droppings.
Put it next to the house.
Okay, we'll learn Mitzvah more about it when we get to Nikrish. V'chein le'iyah lahoitz de'cher vasei la'amr shetzal shib makem melech echad al shliach tzibur matzibur. Shem b'makem echad yachalatzis kol hashemea kel asher tzibur af api she'enei himahim. Even we said before in the beginning is Sifchav Beis that you need to be in one room for two purposes. When you need to mitzaref 10 people to minyan. Number two, in order to be Moitzi, to be yoitzes a certain inyan, and you need to hear, let's say, Sfira, so Oymer, something to be yoitzes in the tzibur. As well, you need to be in the same place. That's only, he said, the shliach tzibur and the tzibur themselves. They themselves have to be in the same place. But if they are in one place, anyone who hears them can answer, can respond.
Bar-wise, why should it be different? The Shechina, while the bars are listen mopsic anything, the spara, why should something, a sound, whatever tuma, even if you could smell it or not smell it, why should there be a hefsek by the ear which hears and answers amen? Yeah, it's not talui on the seeing, and should be telling on the telling it. It's talui on the sound. Why does something tuma or something? What's a spot to say that it's a hefsek between what you hear? Even an iron curtain won't be mopsic. Why should this be mopsic?
Right. I don't know. It's a good question.
We learn in
Somehow it causes some type of tumah. Like, you're not supposed to learn and daven in the bathroom. There's a certain
we learn that let's say you have a minyan.
something somehow affects the Torah. That has an effect on it.
It has an effect, yeah.
We say divrei Torah ain't a makabel tumah,
but at the same time we say
but Lamai say you can't learn in the bathroom.
But that's different because the learning itself is the this is talui on
The sound
you're
travels.
hearing
Sound
sound.
travels over the area. I don't know. It's a good
it's
question.
based on the waves. The waves will not whatever. Why should it be significant?
Unless it's a
By
vart,
aid-
unless it's a vart cheretz or something more
unless
of
it's
a
derech eretz,
covet.
If
The
someone
vart
holds it,
covet. That it's not respectful that you're answering to the melech in such a
It's
case.
not appropriate.
Right. It's probably more of an in a covet.
Technically, if
Right.
you have suckers there, but it's not appropriate.
Yeah, that's probably.
no.
You don't actually have to hear agav the bechla. You don't have to hear the shliach tzibur to answer amen.
Right, you don't even have
In
to hear.
Alexandria, they used a flag there.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That's the base.
The shul was so big.
That's the basis why he's saying that the video screens.
What?
Yeah, that's because you're in a location. Meaning you're in that location, so you don't hear it. You're touch there. You don't hear it. You don't see it. What do you say?
So how could you say amen if you don't hear it? Just sort of like I lifted a flag.
But he went to
You
the-
see that at
That's not
MetLife they were saying that you really could answer amen. Right. Oh, you're saying that if you wouldn't hear.
Mike, you didn't hear the chazan.
Yeah. Right. I said the microphone is
The-
the microphone.
The distance between the mic and you is
So that depends how you view a microphone. That depends how you view a microphone.
The Rebbe was against microphone.
Because the Rebbe said it's a recording, but sort of like it's
It's
your voice is being replayed.
It's
It's
like a replica of your voice.
a replica of your voice,
But biggest
Yeah.
guy
It's
is-
not your voice.
not your
It's a-
voice.
No, it's an electrical.
So I think the Rebbe held that for amen and things like that it would be fine. Kopanim in the same location that you use a mic, but it will not be okay.
If you have to be yaitse.
The Yoitza Megillah, the Yoitza.
It's not good. From a Gila, it's not
The Rebbe was very disappointed in the Gea get that someone wanted to give a get
the phone.
to instruct a get should be given
By phone.
over the telephone. They do not want to be done because you need the physical husband should say that, not the hearing shouldn't be a tape.
If the guy motions, I want to give a get, you're not going to give a get. Has to be head.
So that's a discussion now. The
Hand
Pasuk discussed this.
Sign language.
Let me ask
Actually,
you,
Omar רוצה אני.
So how you doing
Yes,
sign
I said
language?
רוצה
why-
אני in front of Eddie.
let me ask you another question. Dabba should be erva, this big mouth. We have the same halacha too. There's erva, look at our Saya,
Like this, huh?
there's erva. Why shouldn't that be the same halacha? Based on the.
It's probably it is an issue, Ira. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe I was based on seeing it. I don't know. Maybe I was based on seeing it. Okay.
So what's the bottom line?
If it's a mosque, you could say amen.
Bottom line is that this whole discussion about tziruf is only regarding tziruf, but regarding responding and to being part of a minyan, being considered part of a minyan, you don't actually have to be in the
Be part
room.
of it. You don't have to have, it doesn't have to have the same criteria as Siruf in order to respond, to answer, right? Because even though they have 10 people here and you're walking down the streets, you could.
You're a yaitza.
You're
You could be yaitza. If there's 10 people here and an 11th person in the kitchen,
He could be
he could be yaitza. Yeah, he's yaitza tefillah b'tzibur with the room here.
Yeah, but he's not part
But
of
he's
the
not
minyan.
part of the minyan for the tziruf for the first 10. But once they are at tziruf of the minyan, he could be yaitza from where he is.
That's for himself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for himself.
They
But
don't
not
need it.
tefillah with tzibur. He doesn't get
They
the
don't
schar
need
from
it.
tefillah.
They have 10. They don't need
Yeah, but
it.
does he get the schar as if he would daven with a
That
minyan?
it seems like he does.
He does?
Why not?
That's good. I should buy
I mean,
a house next door to
that
open
doesn't.
my
He doesn't
window.
discuss it
Don't
clearly.
do it on purpose.
He doesn't discuss it clearly.
I should go down to the shore. I'd be yikes to tefillah b'tzibur.
Go to Kotel Cam, you go down with a minute.
What?
KotelCam.com, you can tell them the minute.
Saying you can see on the video the kotel.
Yeah.
Definitely, I wanted to mention in Israel, by Chol HaMoed, we have big scanning. We have about 100,000 Jewish people living in the same minyan. And the Chazan said, Yivorech Echo, the Kohanim doesn't hear the mic. But nevertheless, we've got about 10,000 Kohanim at the same time. And they're making the bracha and everything.
But there,
How these
they don't need to respond. They just need to know the timing.
Yeah, you don't have to hear the Chazan say Yivorech and say After. It's a whole.
Right, but I don't know if they need to hear. They need a simon because they need a simon.
Like now you have to say Baruch and
Right. Besides, they have 10 who hear, right? The kohanim that are close to him.
Right. Even more.
Yeah.
It's a loud chazan, but because the speaker and because the kohanim standing so far from the red, it's all mixed. They can't stand in one place. The kohanim usually they're putting in the front. Because you have so many kohanim, they are like Israeli kohanim. It's like all mixed. You don't know. With the kohanim, when you see the picture, right, you don't know who is the kohen and who is just covering himself.
It's a beautiful sight.
Who's there too?
Yeah. Sif Chav Gimel. Ir she'ein bar ela asara. If you have a city that only has 10 Jews, small town, out of town place, but Echamem Reitza Lotzis in Yom Neroyim, one of them wants to go out, he wants to travel to his Rebbe, his yeshiva, to Yom Neroyim. Koifin Reitz Lishar, he has to stay. Or Liskir Achem Rekoyim, to hire someone to stay in his stead. Shekivan Sheminik B'chol Tzvus HaGoyla. It's a minik all over the Goyla. Shafilu Oisem She'in Lah Min Shalom Kol Hashana Soichim Echad Ishnayim B'Yom Neroyim. Even those that don't have a complete minyan an entire year, they rent a person or two for Yom Neroyim, or they go to a place where there is a minyan. The halacha is that if a shul is being built, people in the city can force everyone to participate and pay a tax for the building of the shul. You can't say, "Oh, I don't want to pay. I'm not going to come to the shul. I'm not going to pay. I'm not going to pay for the Sefer Torah." No, we need a Sefer Torah, and we don't have someone who's sponsoring it all. So everyone needs to participate. We force you.
people to
Same thing as with the minyan. We need to have a minyan. The benefit of the kehillah should be a minyan. You can't just run away.
even
So-
a women mikveh, they could force people that doesn't need it anymore to pay. Kedekach.
Avalim Haim Yud Aleph Yochel Echad Lotzis. If there's 11, one of them can leave. We're not concerned that the middle davening will have to go to the bathroom. We're going to have to wait for him, because then there's no end to that. Then Beis writes in Lotzis. What happens if 2 people want to leave the city? So there's only 11. Only 1 person can leave. So who's allowed to go and who's not allowed to go?
Make a go.
Shnehem soichem echad b'shutfis l'hashem mimim koimim. They both hire 1 person together. Each pay half the price. V'shnehem yifru b'shava afilu echad oni v'echad osher. Even if one's poor, one's rich, doesn't make a difference. Ki mishkol echad chayiv l'hashem mimim oni k'may osher. They have to pay equally. Abel mein dana b'yishuva l'chesed tas. If you have only 8 or 9 people in the city, so you l'chatchila didn't have a minyan.
To begin with.
To begin with, you never had a minyan. And every Yom Royim they hire a person or 2 to join the minyan. We split the payments. Half of it is according to how much you own, percentage-wise. How much you own. If you're rich, you should pay more. Poor, you should pay less. The other half is paid to the amount of people. Each person takes half the amount.
It's like the
What?
Congress. It's the Senate. Every state gets 2
Two
senators.
representatives.
Congress is based on the population.
So it's al derech zeh.
Gentrification.
So what do you mean, chatzli fil mom? I mean, what do you mean fil mom? I'm poor, you're rich. How do you assess?
Percent-wise, let's
Yeah.
say his 2%, his 2% of his money and his 2% of his money is different.
And yeah, how do you calculate? All these guys have different incomes. What's the sliding scale here? How do you do
They will come to the meeting.
it? I'm a little bit confused a little bit. Lafia mom, that's it's a little bit too much to bite on.
I have to think, how would it practically play out?
Yeah, I don't know how you do that. How you do it?
I don't think it's exact.
I look at you.
Let's
look
say
at
the
your
guy
tax
was
return.
$100. Let's say it costed $100.
What?
Let's say it costed
$100
$100
to get to rent people, right?
Person, right?
rent the person. So half of it, we'd say $50 of it, they have to split equally. Each would pay $25. The other half, so how are we going to split the fee? The 50. How are we going to decide how much the gvir is going to pay, and how much the
Yeah, I
honey is
don't know
going to
what
pay?
sliding scale. How do you figure it out? According to his net income, gross income. Well, how do you do it?
I don't know if it's exact science.
And then what's the ratio? Let's say you're making
What's the loss for the rich? What's the loss for
I
the poor?
don't think there is a ratio. I think a rich person.
Has
Yeah,
to pay,
$50.
and that's it.
you're making 80,000. He's making 100,000. How do you have a $50 deficit here? How much you pay?
That's pretty low. You're making 100.
You take a ratio, 80,000. So you take a
I know
ratio.
what you're saying.
I know he's
I don't know if
thinking-
it's
What is
exact
the
science
percent?
like Maxus a shekel.
No, I'm
You're
asking
making
about the mom, and
calculation.
this is a little bit, you know. What I mean?
You're richer, you do more. You're
I
poor,
just
you
can't
do
comprehend it's a lot more that meets the eye here. How do you do this?
I think the rich one has to pay the other 50, and that's it.
No, boxing circles.
You think of it, you look sound like Sanders, Bernie. A socialist.
You have to look in the Mugan of one.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. How do we
There's a
determine?
footnote here.
Still from the rich, give to the poor. 30 cents. He's a robber.
I'm making 80 and you're making 100. How do we split the 50?
And I lived there made 80 or 100.
That's my gross income, let's say.
Never made out.
The shaila over here is, it's not a tax on the person, how much money he has, it's how much the person needs. How much you need to pay for the chazan. We're talking about a tax, so the tax on the person makes sense. You say 2%. So his 2% and his 2% is a different type of 2%. A different, it's not the same cheshbon.
What, 2% of 100,000?
His earnings,
much
his
more
2%,
money.
right? So it's going to be so fi hamammon.
2% of the fee
But
amount.
over here, it's not clear to me because we're not. It's not a tax. We're not taxing the person's possessions. We need to pay the person who's coming. Need to hire the person.
Right, yeah.
So we have to pay him $50. It's not about money, your possessions. How we're taxing. How are we going to decide how much of a percentage does the Gvir have to pay? How much?
He doesn't mention that. Okay.
No, it's not clear here.
2, 3, 4, 5%, whatever. I don't know.
It's not clear. Well, it has to be who's going to get of this $50. How does it work? 80-20, 90-10, 60-40 of that money, that $50.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. How you divvy out, how you
I
make
don't
the
know.
chalukah.
I don't know. It's a good kasha. But he does explain as to why they did this. Why they do half-half. Why they say half of it they pay equal and half they pay the feed the mum. Ki yesh svara leimer, there is svara to say sha'ani chayev b'ashlamas aminyan kamei asher. The ani is chayev to pay
That's 50-50 then.
just like the asher.
Yeah.
V'yesh svara leimer sha'ani yachal leil chirat smucha. And ani, he can pick himself up. He has no job over here, so let him pick himself, go to a nearby city. He can't leave for the chusha. He has to watch his
He must stay here.
He has to stay?
His panos is here.
Therefore, he should pay more because he has to stay here. Al kain asu pshara zois. Therefore, they made this pshara, the compromise that half of it you pay equally,
50-50.
and the other half is the fee hamammon.
Whatever that means.
Maybe it means basically whatever he could afford. Maybe whatever the ani could afford, he pays whatever he could afford, and that's it. And the rest the usher has to pay. Could be that's the cheshbon.
So then it's
Could be the
arbitrary.
ani
You say
says
it's
I can only
arbitrary.
pay $10 of the 50. That's all I have, and so the other they pay 40. Maybe I'm not sure. Just thinking.
Maybe it could be, but how do you know he might be dishonest?
It's like he's still in
He
there.
So
might
we
be
have to have people judge.
Maybe he might be tight-fisted.
We have to people who judge how much he's, what does he have, and check his bank account. He should bring his bank statements.
The poor man told
Bring
him
the
to
shoe
stand
box.
and bring you a
You
favor.
bring the shoe box, then let us see.
Well, sisa yoshet by necho, right?
Yeah,
It means it can be fair. It can be
Yeah.
just and fair.
that's right.
The poor man could sell the rich. I don't need the minion. I could go somewhere else. You don't need the minion. So you pay for it.
Right.
You need it, you pay for
Well,
it.
that's the 50-50 side. What about the other part of it? I mean, the other
It was
50%.
ringing.
How you divvy it out and how
Okay.
you make it fair and just.
מה שאין כן כשדורים קמים שלום את אחד מהם יכול לבטל מן אפייה חילוי שיש במניין. When the city has a complete minyan, the ani has no right to say that I don't mind, I'll go to the next city. Don't make me pay. I want to leave and go to the next city and I'll daven in the next city. Because I'm a ani, I don't have anything to do here. I don't have any problem going traveling to the next city. He can't say that. When there's a complete minyan here, he can't pick himself and leave. If he wants to leave, he has to hire someone to stay instead of him. Mashenk, in this case, we're talking about where there is no minyan in the city. 8 or 9
Altogether.
people, and you have to bring someone in
You
to
have to be
hire.
mashlim the minion.
Then it's different, and we're not going to make the ani pay for it. Sivchav Dalet. Kol hayoytzim be'inyan shetzichem niskachem v'koymen tzim gam kil nischar l'shich tzibur ki lo yotza. All those that leave the city in a manner that they are chayiv to pay someone to come in their own stead because they left behind without a mean. There was 10 people and he's left, he's the 10th. So he has to hire someone. He also has to pay for the chazan. For Yom Royim, shuls bring in a chazan who knows the nusach. The Kehillah says we don't have anyone who knows how to daven. So we have to pay a certain person or whatever person to daven for the Amud. You can't leave and say you're not paying. You're leaving now. We're going to have to pay. You have no right to leave. You want to leave, hire someone and pay also pay the bill for the chazan, your percentage that you have to pay, your 10%. And we're all paying for the shliach tzibur. You can't just leave us. Even if he left a while before Yom Tif, I left the middle of the summer. So the allegiance schar l'shliach ashatz hashomas amin ki yimei yoytz samach liyom tif kivin shaliachs beyond to the basic.
Because his residence is in this.
Someone who can't come back to his house because of an oinus, it wasn't his fault. He's not permitted to come into the country. It's paperwork or something. Even if it came the time of the regel, he's potter. Potter after the giyas man regel becomes yomtiv. Vahu shahu anos mamish. This is only if he's mamish a real oinus. It wasn't his fault at all. Even if it's erev Yom Tov, he had to leave town. He's not chayiv to pay since he was forced to leave. He be'etza wants to stay. He was forced out. Aval machmas choyiv mamin. Oy pshia le'yocholave le'yafsidu chaveirav chelkam. If the reason why he's being forced out, that he has to leave right before Yom Tov, is because of a debt which he owes, or because he was negligent about something, you didn't do your proper paper, that's your fault. Pay up the debt, don't be negligent, and don't make us pay all this extra costs. You have to pay. His chavedim should not lose out, they have to pay extra, and he has to pay for the loss of the fact that he's not here. Someone else should come, and the chazan, he has to pay all the bills. He has to pay the dues. He can't run away.
I don't understand. What's the chayv moment? So when he owes money and he's trying to evade paying, trying to avoid paying the debt.
Or if he leaves, he can't come back.
Something like that. Something where he because of his debt, he has to maybe go and get money.
What's the pshia, or what would be what's a pshia? Negligence.
Let's say he didn't really.
Let's say
maybe he has certain paperwork he has to fill out, and he should have done it before, and now he has
to leave the city for that.
And now he has to leave. So it's something you made your pshia, and now you last.
You should have went to Sanctuary City. You would have been in trouble.
Last minute before Yom Tif, mitamol, you're leaving. Take care, whatever you need to take care of, your business, whatever needs you need to take care of it earlier. You left it for the last minute. Now before Yom Tif, you're leaving. You're saying, I'm going to go daven in the big city. I'm going to be there anyways because I have to leave. It's not that you were negligent. You should have taken care of whatever you need to take care of it before. Yeah. You left. Now you're going to throw all your the chayvus have to be on the rest of the kehillah. We were expecting you to pay, to be here and to pay for the chazan. Now you're not here. You have to hire someone, pay for whatever the loss the kehillah had, that they needed to hire a bacher to come and stay for them, for the Yom Niroim, as well to pay the schar and the chazan, whoever the shliach tzibur is. It could be the local person, but you have to pay him. He's not going to go up to the Amud for the whole entire time, and it's a lot of work, so he needs to be paid. You have
if he
to
doesn't
pay.
Want to pay, it's not. You don't have to force him to pay.
No, he has to pay. Koifin.
Koifin, I said.
Yeah, he has to pay. The kehillah all had the koyach, to force.
To force somebody to pay.
Today we'll just tell you the din, but we can't force you, but we're going to tell you that this is the din. If you're a mensch, you're a yashastika person, you follow the shulchan aruch. If you're not, what are we going to do? Going to the entire is going to cost more money. So.
Yeah, terrible. Okay, the entire.
Ein koifin, sif chaf hey, koifin liskalash $1,000,000 b'yom neroim. We only do this for Yom Neroim, high holidays. The kigoyin shechasedim ala'echa the base, and only in a case where there's missing only one or two in the city. Elim came minig kavua b'ir lochuf lisker afidu chesanim gimadal. Unless there's a minig kavua in this city that they force the members of the city to pay for even if 3 or 4 people are missing. But usually only up to 2. We don't make you pay for 3 people are missing, unless there's some minig in this kehillah you're not gonna. So what can we? So go to another town. It's not. You can't force me to go and pay because you want a minyan here. So I have to pay to go hire 3-4 people to come down to the city. It's a lot of money. Up to 1 or 2 people, you could force people to go and pay. More than that, unless there's a certain takon in that city. Otherwise, it's only up to 2 people.
I'm just wondering, why would a person move in a town that has no minyan?
Those days, it was very much that. People pasha for parnasa,
There was
Yidden
wretched
lived.
poverty,
Yeah,
so
they
wretched
lived
poverty.
they used to Yidden for many years were in the kretschmer business for a few hundred years.
McCretchen is like
The
a
kretsch,
motel.
the mashke, and they used to have mashke.
Tavern.
They used to serve mashke. Mashke in Russia, in these places, was a very vital part of life
Lucrative.
because people,
Like a bar.
it was very
Like a bar.
a very cold climate, and people needed to warm themselves up, and they would take a little whiskey, alcohol. So this is mash. That's why mashke was. That's why you see Chabad, they're Russian. That's why they have
They drink
mashke.
it, yeah.
So this is something. It's a culture. Or Hungarians have their little kiddush they make with the shnat. This is something. Not only that, I want to tell you something else. They did not have wine because of the cold climate in Europe.
You couldn't
They don't grow grapes. These countries don't have grapes.
Raisins, I heard they had.
So this is a big issue for a couple. They used to use raisin wine for Pesach. They make raisin wine.
They had no choice.
They had no choice.
No choice, yeah.
They used to make raisin wine. They used to sit the raisins in the water to make wine. And a whole year long, unless you were some sort of gvir or something, but no one had wine. This was not Chamara Medina was mashke, so they would take some Smirnoff, take some vodka. That was what they made kiddush every Shabbos. That's what they made Havdalah.
They used to make alcohols.
And Bechlal Havdalah the Goyim, there was a mashke was something that was a big thing in life. And they, you see Russian able to drink down cups. It doesn't affect them
It
that
doesn't
much.
affect them nothing. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Like
so-
I'm drinking soda.
I can.
There's no liver.
We had a Schwarzer painter many years ago. He needed to drink before he did a job. I got a whole cup of whiskey. So I think my mother asked him, "What do you need to drink?" He says, "I can't draw a straight line without a cup of whiskey."
He painted his house bright red.
Lamaisa wine is more mahudr. It's a hiddur to make mitzvah and muvcher to make on wine.
Yeah.
But
If you don't know.
certain people, it was chaviv. By them, this is chaviv. This is what they grew up in the alta in the heim. This is what they were used to, and that's what they always that's what they always make. This is by them chaviv. So it overweighs the inyan of mitzvah and muvcher. But for someone who doesn't enjoy it, it's mitzvah and muvcher b'yayin. There's a lot of things that they didn't have. The wine was something. There was a lot of dinim in Shulchan Aruch all about wine. The grapes not growing within 24-hour travel of the city. Then the cities consider. Then all the other mashkim are considered Chamar HaMedina. It didn't grow. They didn't have like we have salad for romaine lettuce. They never saw romaine lettuce in those climates.
So what do they use?
They use grain.
Grain.
Root vegetables. They had root vegetables.
For real?
They didn't have
My Zayda came from Russia.
What?
He saw someone serving salad with lettuce. He says, "There's Michael Behema. The feed is like behemoths. He never saw such a thing in his life." My God, he told me. My Zayda told me.
And what?
When he came from Russia, my Zayda came from Russia. He saw people in the United States eating salad with lettuce. He thought they were.
With Michael Behema.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
Gross.
Out of their mind.
In Yiddish, gross.
When I was a bacher, we went to make a Pesach Seder in Russia. We went to the marketplace. They have
We're in Russia. Which city?
it was a 3-hour drive from Moscow, small city, Ivanova. And we went there. We went to the town. We had a little dictionary, and we tried to explain to them what we need. No romaine lettuce. We didn't know about this. We were little bacher, and we didn't know about the climate and we had chrein. The only chrein. That was it. The chrein. Russians know what chrein is. That's what they have.
Yeah, a bit of thing.
In the Gemara, the Shulchan Aruch says it's a hiddur to have chazeres salat. It's a hiddur to have romaine lettuce. That's a hiddur, but they didn't have it. They didn't have it for hundreds of. So all the years that our Aveseinu lived in these makaymis, they didn't have it. They didn't grow. Now you can things fly around, so you can have whatever you want wherever you are. So there's no concept of seasons.
Yeah.
There's no concept of seasons and then.
Latitude, I mean,
Amal, you saw elephant. You made you saw elephant. You made Baruch Mashana Habriyas. But but the things are common things that everyone sees. Even someone saw a shacher. make Baruch Mashana Habriyas, because like,
I never,
there's countries they never saw Ada Yoim Agav, if not for TV and things like that. These countries that they don't have any, they don't exist. In Kemat in Russia and these places like that, there's not
In
one.
Russia, you have plenty Spartas.
They do?
Yeah, plenty.
I don't know, but maybe the big cities now, but
In the big cities, yeah.
yeah,
Must
and
have
people travel.
jobs and-
But originally, was coming. People came to America, or the free countries where they want to come here. Who wants to go to? I don't know what goes on in China and different places. These places, no one's coming to move there. It's not multicultural. It's not multicultural. You know.
Corona.
How many Jewish live in China now?
Corona.
I had a great uncle who was very, very tall.
Now.
He was very tall. He went to visit China in the years, the real harsh communist years. His people fell off bikes looking at him. Such a tall guy, they thought he was like a giant. Everyone's
and everyone's midgets.
yeah. So. Okay. Lemaisa, avlam yesh minyan shalom miyosh v'ir koifen liska shliachtzira afilo kol hashanek l'yispal shem tamasa. So lemaisa, this whole din of being koifa to mashal a minyan is only during Yom Neroim. However, if there is a complete minyan, and you need to hire someone to daven for the Amud because they don't know how to daven for the Amud, he should be the chazan the whole year. Then you could be koifa people to hire a shliach tzira. Cheimakim shei minyan tam beis hakneses koifen zeh beknosis shivei tam beis hakneses is about tam. You have a city that has 10 people or more, but people are not always careful in coming to the minyan. They're not there always. So those days, they didn't pay them who didn't come. They made them gave them a knas. They made knasis shleizbatal hatamid. You should always be here. Tamid, don't break the pattern. People you have to come to minyan. So you're being negligent. It's a chrayis to the rest of the kehillah. So the kehillas would make a knas. The mashgiach, he didn't come to minyan today, so the balabas would have to pay because he didn't come. So this way, to force people to come, people should be by the minyan.
But here, what I said,
This is only if there's a minyan already in the city. We don't make you hire people during the year to bring the city, make sure you have a minyan. That we only do Yom Neroim. I was saying before we got sidetracked, in those places, because they had the different businesses, Yidden had to live. A lot of Yidden had to live in these little derflach,
remote places
by themselves on the wayside, in different places, and didn't have a minyan. Yom Neroim came and they traveled away to the big city to have
What kind of
a
places
minyan.
they found in
Let's say they ran the taverns and these different places for
Oh,
the
I see.
parises, for whatever it was, for whatever parnassa reasons, they had to do it. Today's days, it's not such an issue for parnassa, but there was big issues with Klal Yisrael.
I love Hasidim from Williamsburg, Boabak, all these places. They have to go to China, all these places. Why? I'm serious. They need to stay over Shabbos because
Right? Okay. Baruch Hashem, now we have Chabad, so they have a minyan there. But the Lamaisa in Chanamim, it's a parnassa reasons. This is an issue. This is Bechlal, by the way. The reason why the Mechilas Chametz that we have today is set up the way we have it was originated because of the Bach describes that is Yalta Zayda the Bach that describes that the Klal Yisrael was in the mashke business. A lot of Yidden were in the mashke business. And came Pesach, what are they going to do with all the mashke? All the yayin sarah. So if they could, the mashkes they have to sit and they ferment and then it's a whole. So the Bach already started bringing up the fact that you could sell it to the goy while it sits in your house. The original mechida was not such a thing as this kunst where it stays in your house and belongs to the no. Before Pesach, you take out whatever you have and you sell it to the guy, or you get rid of it. No such a thing having a cabinet in your house, a basement full of chametz. You close the door, put a piece of tape, say this belongs to the guy.
Yeah.
No such a thing. This was something that was later on developed because of the tzorich of the Shah, because it was shemended hefsed mammon. They had no way to deal with this. They have a whole tavern full of mashke. So since their business wasn't chametz, the business wasn't the chametz business. They had to come up with ways. So the Rabbanim came up, the Achronim came up with mahalchim where they could keep it in the house and rent the place where the spot where the chametz is on and sell the chametz and everything and designate it and make a whole special star with kol mini kinyanim that you shouldn't have to take it out of your house. That's why the mechiras came. By this change, the mashkim changed later on. The Alter Rebbe during the Alter Rebbe's lifetime, it changed and it became a gzeir that either are not allowed to be in the mashke business.
Well,
They are not allowed to be anymore in the mashke business.
Jewish
So there was a
people.
few hundred years that Jewish people were in the mashke business, and then it changed. They either were not allowed, it became an issa from the government that they can. So people came to the Alter Rebbe and said, "What's going to be? Where are we going to have parnasa?" So the Alter Rebbe stood up and said with a sing song, "V'yata mechayis kulam and do the Eibishter, you get chayis for everyone. You're going to give chayis. So Eibishter will have parnasa some other way." So Yidden then started getting involved with working the land, farming, and that became
thought
something.
they were not
The
allowed to
Alter
own
Rebbe's
land.
son, the Mittel Rebbe, set up many colonies of farmland that people could
But I
have.
thought in Rush by the Tsar, you were not allowed to own land. I
Well,
always read that up
there
all
was
the
a
time.
certain areas that the Jews were not allowed to settle in. B'chlal. A Jew was not allowed to be in the big cities like in Moscow.
Yeah.
Unless you had a
Under the
special
Tsar.
permit, you couldn't come. You couldn't live there. You had to be. They had to pay a settlement. They have certain areas that are allowed to settle. In those areas, they're allowed to be.
To farm the land.
When the minion forced to bring a chazan, how did you decide how much to pay? One chazan is $1,000, one chazan 5,000. Like, how the minion decided how much to pay the chazan? Because then you divide it to 10 people. So some people said, "I want a cheap chazan." Like how
The
you
committee, they have a committee.
You
and
vote. Achal Rabbi Lahatis.
L'chora, when it comes to the shliach tzibur, they have to pay equally. L'chora.
No, but
Because in
Well,
those
no,
tzvara,
it's
the
just how
ashir,
much to
that
spend.
the ani could leave.
no, I understand. But
He wants to know how
what's
much
the
to
price
spend.
of the chazan? Like how
Whatever
would
the
you decide?
chazan charges. I mean, I don't.
So let's say 5 people says I want a chazan for $500. 5 people say I want a chazan for $10. Like how you divide
No,
it?
it has to be not a chazan for niceness. If you want a chazan for extra yoifi, then the usher has to pay. If the Ashirim want, the ani could say, "I want a simple chazan." We learned about this in Siman and Gimel. We talked about hiring a chazan for shul the whole year. We're discussing.
So you can't force.
And one of the dinim of the shliach tzibur was that if the Ashirim want to have a chashav a chazan, they have to pay for it. The ani could say, "For me, it's good the regular chazan.
If not, I go to different.
I don't need so they want to pay extra money and get Malveni, whoever they want. This is no problem, But he's not paying for it. He says health cards, so they can pay for health cards, but he's not.
They pay for them to come in. They come to Rosh Chodesh, they have to pay for his airfare. I was in the shul. We had him for.
He's in Florida. Where is he?
No, they switches. Now he's in Park East, but he was in. I was in Florida by Ray Lipsker shul, the shul, and he was a cousin that year. He used to come in every Yom Tovim, special occasions, Shabbos Levorah. They used to pay him. He used to fly in from Eretz Yisrael. He used to daven.
He lives in Eretz Yisrael.
Yeah. Gerchus.
So I'm gonna do it for half a price.
My brother-in-law did the same thing. He was a teacher in Massachusetts 45 years ago. He's Yemenite, but he has beautiful voice. So they have a shul there. They want him to be a chazan. So he said, "You want me a chazan? You make him a chitza." They made him a chitza for him. He used to come, and after 4 years, he went back to Israel. And then every year they pay him money, flight, staying for 10 days, 20 days, and every 5 years also his wife. So he used to come like a week before Yomim Novaim, take all the cassette, it was not CD, of Kozovitsky and all the, and he always used to get few different chazanas there. And he's a Yamonite. Alokol Misulsal. Beautiful. He did it like for 10, 15 years.
Very
Every
nice.
year he come only for Yamonite.
Very nice. Baruch Hashem. Yeah, Siv Chavav. Yeshuvim shetzrichim lisker minyan v'shliach tzibur. Those settlements that need to hire a minyan for Yom Neroim, they don't have enough people. And the shliach tzibur, whether for Yom Neroim or a whole year, v'yesh tzvivos sheregilin lavei gamkin sham b'nei beisim. What happens if you have people that come and join for Yom Neroim, they come to this yishuv, they don't have a minyan, very much smaller. So you have people that just travel into this yishuv, and this yishuv is putting out money to hire because they have 8-9 people a whole year, let's say, and they're hiring someone, 1 or 2 people to come in, or they hiring a chazan, and then there are people that are coming from nearby towns and joining them. Do they have to mishtatef?
No.
Says no. They don't have to pay. If they want, they can go somewhere else. Even without them, they need a shliach tzibur, and there's nothing to do with them, so you can't force them. They come, they get a freebie. They could just come and join the shul. It's only the members, the people, the local people, they're chayiv. People that come from outside, they're guests, whatever, they're not chayiv to pay. They could come and mishtata for the shul.
In Manhattan, you have some shul. If you're not a member, you can come in.
They have a ticket.
You have to be like, they're paying for the chazan.
Yeah.
You have to come with a card.
The card, man.
If not, you can come in.
They sell the seats. So what he said about selling seats, all these shuls, and the people, you can't come in if you're just a guest?
I was one time in a shul where there was a simple guy there, and he came Simchas Torah to shul. He didn't know much about Yiddishkeit, and he saw there was bidding going on. So he bid. I don't remember what it was, a kafa, I'm not sure what they were selling. So as soon as they told him that, you won, so he took out his wallet. He wanted to make the credit card pay right away.
He didn't know what he bought.
He wanted to pay right away. He was ready to pay.
So they took the money?
Oime ve'eisa. He was ehrlich. I'm sure. I'm not sure all the pledges come into the shul after Yom Tov. A lot of them get lost.
Then there was a time this guy came to my friends here.